In the spotlight tonight is Eric Kilby from Swindon, who's a head of statistics. His specialist subject is the House of Godwin from 1000 AD to 1066. Sally Wilson from Cheshire, a systems developer, taking the life and films of Grace Kelly as her subject. Sai Khan from Birmingham, a training executive, and his subject is the life and works of the French singer Dalida. And John Wrigley from Stockport, a retired teacher whose subject is World Cup cricket from 1975 to the present. Hello, I'm John Humphreys, and welcome to Mastermind. The rules are familiar to you, I've no doubt. The objective is simple enough: to find out who knows the most and who can deliver it under pressure. There are two rounds. The first is the specialist subject chosen by the contender, and the second is based on general knowledge. Each round lasts 2 minutes, and the winner goes through to our next round with a chance of winning that most treasured prize, the title of Mastermind 2003. So, may I have our first contender, please? And your name is?
Eric Kilby.
Your occupation?
Head of Statistics.
And your chosen subject?
The House of Godwin, 1000 AD to 1066.
You have 2 minutes on that, starting now. Which Sussex thane who turned pirate in the reign of Ethelred the Unready was Godwin's father?
Wulfnoth.
Correct. Godwin cemented his ties with the Danish royal family by marrying which sister-in-law of King Canute?
Githa.
Correct. Godfigu, otherwise known as Lady Godiva, was the wife of which Earl of Mercia, who was one of Godwin's main rivals?
Leofric.
Correct. In January 1045, Godwin gave away his eldest daughter Edith in marriage to whom?
Edward the Confessor.
Correct. By 1045, Edward the Confessor had conferred which earldom on Godwin's second son, Harold?
Wessex.
East Anglia. According to the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, which abbess did Godwin's eldest son, Sweyn, order to be brought to him and kept her as long as it suited him?
I'd give you.
The Abbess of Leicester. When Godwin and his sons were declared outlaws in 1051, Harold and his brother Leofwine took ship for which land?
Ireland.
Correct. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle states that while returning from a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, Sweyn Godwinson died in which city?
Lycia, near Constantinople.
Correct. In 1055, Siward died at York and was succeeded by Godwin's third son, Tostig, as Earl of where?
Northumbria.
Correct. Who was the first and last native king of Wales who was killed by his own men in 1063 while fighting Earl Harold?
Griffith ap Llewellyn.
Correct. Earl Godwin died in 1053 and was buried close to King Canute's grave in the Old Minster of which city?
Winchester.
Correct. Who captured Earl Harold and imprisoned him at Beaurain before handing him over to William of Normandy?
Guy of Ponthieu.
Correct. When Duke William freed Harold to return to England, which of his brothers remained in Normandy as a hostage?
Wulfnoth.
Correct. The Bayeux Tapestry depicts, probably wrongly, Harold being crowned king in 1066 by which Archbishop of Canterbury?
Stigand.
Correct. After a failed invasion of England in the spring of 1066, Tostig was given refuge by which Scottish king?
Malcolm III.
Correct. At which battle south of York did Tostig and Harold Hardrada defeat the Earls of Mercia and Northumbria on the 20th of September 1066?
Gate Fulford.
Correct, and that is your 2 minutes. And at the end of that 2 minutes, you had no passes. You scored, Eric Kilby, 14 points. And our second contender, please. And your name?
Sally Wilson.
And your occupation?
Systems developer.
And your chosen subject?
The life and films of Grace Kelly.
Grace Kelly, in 2 minutes, starting now. For her role of Georgie Elgin, in which film, co-starring Bing Crosby and William Holden, did Grace Kelly win her only Oscar?
The Country Girl.
Correct. Grace Kelly first met Prince Rainier at which film festival where she was publicising A Country Girl?
Cannes.
Correct. What was the name of Grace Kelly's high school sweetheart who died of multiple sclerosis in 1952?
Harper Davis.
Correct. Based on a play by Faros Molnar, part of which film was shot at Biltmore, a chateau built by George Vanderbilt in Asheville, North Carolina?
The Swan.
Correct. What was the name of the ship on which the Kelly family crossed the Atlantic for her wedding to Prince Rainier?
The USS Constitution.
Correct. Which French actor and war hero did Grace Kelly first meet when they starred in the television drama The Way of an Eagle?
Jean-Pierre Aumont.
Correct. Mogambo, directed by John Ford in 1953, was a remake of which film, also starring Clark Gable in the leading role?
Red dust.
Correct. Grace Kelly's first newspaper notice came after her performance with the East Falls Old Academy Players in which play by her uncle George Kelly?
The Torchbearers.
Correct. Which club, deriving from her love of flowers and her desire to become closer to her subjects, did Princess Grace found in Monaco in 1968?
The Garden Club.
Correct. What was the name of the designer of Grace Kelly's white chiffon ball gown in The Swan, who went on to design her wedding dress?
Helen Rose.
Correct. In which film, based on a real-life incident in which a young man jumped to his death from a New York hotel, did Grace Kelly make her Hollywood debut?
14 Hours.
Correct. With which actor did Grace Kelly fall in love while working with the Elitch Garden Stock Company in the summer of 1951?
Jean Lyons.
Correct. In which film, which was never completed, did Grace Kelly appear as herself and Edward Meek feature as an astrophysicist who comes to Monte Carlo to give a lecture?
Rearranged.
Correct. Under what alias did Prince Rainier attempt to leave Los Angeles in March 1956 to return to Monaco and plan the wedding?
John Smith.
C. Monte. What was the name of the lady-in-waiting dismissed by Princess Grace in 1961 after rumours that Prince Rainier was having an affair with her?
Madge Tivy-Faucon.
Latina de Leon. Grace Kelly starred in 3 films directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Start it, so I'll finish. Which was the first of these?
Dial M for Murder.
Correct. Well, you passed on none of those questions, Sally Wilson. You scored 14 points. And our third contender, please. And your name is?
Sai Khan,
And your occupation?
training executive.
And your chosen subject?
The life and works of Dalida.
Dalida, the French singer. You have 2 minutes on that, starting now. Which title did Dalida win in 1950 that first brought her to public prominence?
Miss Ondine,
Correct. For whom was Dalida the support act on her first successful appearance at the Paris Olympia?
Charles Aznavour.
Correct. In which 1976 film directed by Nina Compagnies did Dalida make a cameo appearance singing J'attendrai?
The Mask of Tutankhamun.
No, Comme sur des roulettes. In which suburb of Cairo did Dalida spend most of her childhood years, the same suburb in which Omar Sharif was brought up?
Choubra.
Correct. What was the title of the song that received the Grand Prix at the San Remo Festival in 1960 that became synonymous with Dalida?
Ciao Amore Ciao.
No, Romantica. Which choreographer who choreographed John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever put together the stage show that she performed at the Palais des Sports in January 1980?
John Taverner.
No, Lester Wilson. With which middle name was Dalida born?
Yolanda.
Yes, I'll accept Yolanda. How was her former lover, Richard Chanfray, also known in reference to his aristocratic title?
The Comte de Saint-Germain.
Correct. What was the title of the record that she recorded in Egyptian in 1977, which was a cover of an old Egyptian folk song that was seen as a peace anthem of the time?
Salma Ya Salama.
Correct. Who was the director of the French radio station Europe 1, whom Dalida married on the 8th of April 1961?
Bruno Cocatrix.
No, Lucien Maurice. Who directed Dalida in the 1955 film Sigara Wakas, in which she starred with fellow Egyptian actress Samia Gamal?
Yusuf Shaheen.
Niassi Mustafa. Which musical instrument did her father Pietro play for many years when he was a member of the orchestra at the Cairo Opera House?
Violin.
Correct. From which country did Dalida receive the Chico Viola Prize for Zorba or Greco?
Brazil.
Correct. Which Italian singer did she accompany to the 1967 San Remo Festival singing a duet with him, Ciao Amore?
Luigi Tenco.
Correct. In the film Le Masque de Tutankhamun, which actor does Dalida try to seduce with the Dance of the Seven Veils?
Omar Sharif.
No, the correct answer is Gil Vidal. Again, Sai Khan, you passed on none of those questions. You scored 9 points. And our fourth contender, please. And your name is?
John Wrigley,
Your occupation?
retired teacher.
And your chosen subject?
World Cup cricket from 1975 to 2003.
Cricket in 2 minutes, starting now. Who scored a century in England's first ever World Cup match against India in 1975?
Dennis Amiss.
Correct. Who played for Scotland in the 1999 World Cup and later that year made his Test debut for England?
Gavin Hamilton.
Correct. Of the 11 West Indian players beaten in the 83 final, 2 did not play county cricket. Jeff Dujon was one. Which batsman was the other?
Roy Fredericks, no.
No, Fouad Bacchus. Who won the Man of the Match award in the 92 final?
That was Wazim Akram.
It was. Who managed the West Indies in 1999 and was famously seen shivering under a blanket at the game against Bangladesh in Dublin?
Rowan Canai.
No, it was Clive Lloyd. Although the term had yet to be invented, which Australian fast bowler was used as a pinch hitter in the 1987 final, scoring 14 off 8 balls after batting at number 4?
Pass.
Who scored his only century in one-day internationals for England in the 1975 World Cup?
Pass again.
Which country played in the World Cup for the only time in 1996?
United Arab Emirates.
Correct. Who captained England in the 1999 World Cup?
I should know that. Michael Atherton.
It was Alex Stewart. Against which country was Zimbabwe playing when Henry Olonga and Andrew Flower wore black armbands in the 2003 World Cup?
Namibia.
Correct. The game between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, the second match in the 1983 World Cup, was the first World Cup match to be held at a non-test match venue. Where was it held?
Could you tell me which year again, please? Repeat the question.
1983.
Cardiff.
No, it was St Helens. It was in Swansea, in fact. So you passed on
Yeah.
2 questions. Who scored his only century in the 75 World Cup one-day internationals? That was Keith Fletcher. And it was Craig McDermott, the Australian fast bowler used as a pinch hitter in the 1987 final. So, John Wrigley, you scored 5 points. Well, that brings us to the end of our first round on specialist subjects. So let's take a look at the scores now. In 4th place, on 5, John Wrigley. In 3rd place, on 9, Sai Khan. In joint 1st place, each with 14 points, is Eric Kilby and Sally Wilson. Both 14 points and no passes. So we'll see what comes of that in this next round, which is, of course, the general knowledge round. And remember, if there is still a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes, if there are any, will be taken into consideration, and the contender with the fewest passes will be declared the winner. If there's still a tie on points, no passes, there will be a 5-question playoff. So we'll see what comes of it. As I say, on with the general knowledge round, and let me first ask John Wrigley to come and join us again. And you got 5 points that it looked as if you were going to go steaming along. You started off so well.
That's right.
And then it all came...
A good starter and a poor finish.
Good start and a poor finish. But you're not a cricketer, are you? Although the cricket is your subject, you're not a...
No, I don't play cricket. No,
So
I watch
why?
it. I watch it. I'm interested in it.
Right. But you've never played it?
Well, I've tried.
Aye.
From the back garden forwards, you know, from then.
Discovered that wasn't you, really?
Well, no, just... I just have no ability.
I know the feeling, yes.
matter, you know.
Well, let's test your general knowledge. You have 2 minutes for that, starting now. What name is given to the anti-Catholic riots that took place in London in 1780?
George Gordon riots.
Correct. What name is given to the grades of black belt for particular levels of proficiency in martial arts such as judo and karate?
Dan.
Correct. What is the American equivalent of the British postcode?
Zip code.
Correct. In which English city is the Dyson Perrins Museum containing some of the world's finest china?
Stoke-on-Trent.
It's Worcester. In Shakespeare's play A Midsummer Night's Dream, what is the name of the Queen of the Fairies?
Titania.
Correct. The kittiwake is a member of which family of seabirds?
Seagull.
Correct. Staying Alive by the Bee Gees originally came from the soundtrack of which film?
Saturday Night Fever.
Correct. In which state is Cape York, the northernmost point in Australia?
Northern Territory.
No, it's Queensland. Which fish is one of the principal ingredients in an omelette Arnold Bennett?
Pass.
Which trophy, competed for biennially off the south coast by international teams, was founded by the Royal Ocean Racing Club in 1957?
The Admiral's Cup.
Correct. The McCrimmon Memorial Recital at Dunvegan Castle Sky is for exponents of which musical instrument?
Bagpipes.
Correct. What was the name of the German coding machine whose messages were deciphered at Bletchley Park in the so-called Ultra Project during World War II?
Enigma.
Correct. Strabismus or heterotropia is the medical term for which defect of the eye?
Short-sightedness.
No, a squint. Which train that ran from Cincinnati to Tennessee was celebrated by the Glenn Miller Orchestra in the film Sun Valley Serenade?
Chattanooga Choo-Choo.
Correct. In classical mythology, what was the name of the Roman equivalent of the Greek goddess of wisdom Athene?
Minerva.
Correct. Which actor and singer starred as Joey Evans in the film Pal Joey?
Frank Sinatra.
Correct. Said to be the world's biggest art robbery, which painting was stolen from the Louvre in 1911 and recovered in Italy in 1913?
Mona Lisa.
Correct. Which father lived with Father Jack and Father Dougal on Craggy Island?
Father Ted.
Correct. Triton and Nereid are two... Started, so I'll finish. Triton and Nereid are two of the satellites of which planet?
Neptune.
Correct. So you passed there on one question, and that was the fish. That's one of the principal ingredients in Arnold Bennett omelette. It's a smoked haddock.
Not the Gordon Bennett.
Not the Gordon Bennett, the Arnold Bennett. It's a smoked haddock. So that's the fish. You scored 5 in the first round. You have now gone up to 20 points. John Wrigley.
Thank you.
And now may I ask Sai Khan to take the chair, if he would, please. Now, I have a confession to make. You scored 9 points on a subject of which I have to tell you I'd never heard. I did not know that Dalida... Well, I had no idea who she was.
Not many people in this country have heard of her.
Well, that's a relief.
So
tell us a wee bit about her. What?
Well, not only was she a multilingual, multi-talented singer, actress, she also campaigned for world peace. She knew President Sadat. She was very close friends with people like Mitterrand, Chirac. And she just represented everything that I think is great in a person, that she had this magnificent global outlook on life.
And in the Middle East, she is a big number.
She's a huge cultural icon, even 16 years after her death. Her records are selling in the millions still throughout the Middle East and even France. I mean, last year she sold 1.2 million records, which is many more than some living artists.
Right. General knowledge. You scored, as I say, 9 points the last time around. Let's see how you do this time around. We have 2 minutes, starting now. Which member of the royal family was born at Glamis Castle in 1930?
Prince Charles?
No, Princess Margaret. Roots of the large-rooted variety of which plant were developed as a coffee substitute during the 18th century?
Chicory?
Correct. A ship in quarantine flies a flag of which colour?
Red.
Yellow. Mark Allingham, Natania Janssen, John Fisher wrote the first of which series of guidebooks for low-budget travellers after a trip to Greece in the early 1980s?
Rough Guide?
Correct. Which was Britain's first long-distance footpath officially opened in 1965?
The Pennine Way?
Correct. What's the name of Iraq's former Deputy Prime Minister, the only Christian in Saddam's government, who gave himself up to coalition forces in April 2003?
Tariq Aziz.
Correct. What did Oscar Wilde supposedly say is the curse of the drinking classes?
Gin?
No, work. Which motorcyclist world champion on his 500cc Suzuki in 76 and 77 died in Australia in March 2003, aged 52?
Barry Sheen.
Correct. Egyptian, American, upland and sea island are 3 of the major types of which crop?
Corn?
Cotton. Whose 1991 work, The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living, features a 14-foot-long tiger shark in a tank of formaldehyde?
Damien Hirst?
Correct. Which novelist, whose father was also an author, appeared as John, the older Thornton's son, in the 1965 film A High Wind in Jamaica?
Pass.
The sea parrot or bottlenose are alternative names for which bird distinguished by its brightly coloured triangular beak?
Puffin?
Correct. Which chemical element widely used in nuclear power has the atomic number 92?
Uranium?
Correct. The Rainbow Bridge is a viewing point for which major North American tourist attraction?
Niagara Falls.
Correct. Operation Nest Egg was launched the day after VE Day to liberate which part of the British Isles from German rule?
The Channel Islands.
Correct. Which city, the largest at the time... I've started, so I'll finish. Which city, the largest at the time outside the Far East, did the Vikings call Mikkelgarth, meaning great city?
Madrid?
No, it was Constantinople, formerly Byzantium. Istanbul now, if you prefer. So, you had 1 pass in that round. The novelist, whose father was also an author, etc., was Martin Amis. Father Kingsley Amis, of course. Sai Khan, you scored in that round 10 points, taking your total to 19 points. And now Eric Kilby, if he would, please. So this is very tight because you are in a tie
Indeed.
as we speak.
Yes.
14 points. And you're a statistician.
I never say that word.
It's impossible,
terrible.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Head of statistics is much better.
They must be slightly odd people, statisticians.
Slightly.
Because it is a very... I mean, is it true that all they think about is figures? Somebody once told me, is that true?
Well, no, I mean, personally, I hate figures. But, no, it's just a job I do.
You hate figures
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
are...
I'm much more interested in history and literature and art.
Well, that's...
and all
Yes,
that sort of
because
thing.
you've tried to trace your family tree.
I have, yes.
How difficult is that?
It's getting easier. I say the internet, lots more archives and records are coming onto the internet.
So how far back can you go? with
Oh, I
your-
only go back to sort of 1670, 1680.
Only?
So, yeah, well, it's not.
Wh-
It's not
wh-
exactly to the Norman Conquest, is it? No.
But it's not bad, is it? I mean, what's a respectable tree to have, then?
Oh, I suppose that's quite respectable. I think it is anyway. So it's. But I mean, you do get people who do claim Norman Conquest, not Anglo-Saxon, strangely.
They don't
But-
go that far.
No, they don't go far.
But they go back to
back.
1066 and all that.
Yeah.
There we are. You scored 14 points. You are tying. So let's see how you do in the general knowledge round, and you have 2 minutes starting now. What name was given to the pouch-like addition to men's hose first worn in the 15th century?
Pocket.
Codpiece. Which Manchester group had their first UK top 10 hit in '84 with Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now?
The Smiths.
Correct. In fiction, how is foundling John Clayton, heir to Lord Greystoke, better known?
Tarzan.
Correct. The Saphir-Simpson scale classifies which meteorological phenomenon on a scale of 1 to 5?
Wind.
No, it's hurricanes. Who was appointed executive chairman of the United Nations Monitoring, Verification and Inspection Commission in January 2000?
Hans Blix.
Correct. ZR is the symbol for which chemical element used in nuclear reactors and in certain alloys?
Zinc.
No, zirconium. A museum to which post-impressionist artist can be seen in his studio at Aix-en-Provence?
Manet.
No, Cézanne. Which American player won 3 of the 4 men's Grand Slam tennis tournaments in 1974?
Pass.
Which animal farrows when giving birth?
Horse.
No, a pig, sow. Forming the title of his autobiography, what is the only part of his body over which Christy Brown had any control?
It's left foot.
Correct. From which port did John Cabot set sail in 1497 on his voyage of discovery to Newfoundland?
Bristol.
Correct. Which hard, acid, yellowish, pear-shaped fruit, too sour to be eaten raw, is used as a flavouring or in preserves?
Quince.
Correct. Which Verdi opera is based on the drunken braggart who appears in 3 of Shakespeare's plays?
Falstaff.
Correct. Which decimal number is represented by the binary number 10?
0.
It's 2. On which island is Calvi, where Lord Nelson was blinded in his right eye?
Corsica.
Correct. Which former Beatle financed the film Monty Python's Life of Brian, supposedly because he said it would be the only way he could see another Python film?
George Harrison.
Correct. What name is given to the specialty of New Orleans inspired by paella made of highly spiced rice? I'll finish the question. Highly spiced rice, chicken and ham.
Gumbo.
You were close. It's jambalaya. And you passed on only one question there. The American player who won 3 of the 4 Grand Slam tennis tournaments was Jimmy Connors.
Connors.
Yeah,
Indeed.
and of course you knew that.
I did.
You had 14 points in your first round. You scored another 9. Eric Kilby, you have a total of 23 points. And now, would Sally Wilson please join us? So, you know what you have to beat now, don't you? Because you scored 14 points as well in your round with your vast knowledge of Grace Kelly. At one point, it looks as if you were going to go straight through without a single fluff.
Oh, I don't think it often happens that way. There's always something you don't know.
Well, that's true. The story of this quiz, isn't it, really? What is it about Grace Kelly in particular? Beautiful woman. And all
Oh,
that, but,
absolutely. I think she was an icon of her age, really.
what made her that?
I don't know. I think she came at the time that she came along, the films she made. I mean, she only made 11 films, but each of them was a classic. And I think that something like that stands the test of time.
But she had another life, didn't she, outside films? Another intriguing life, and maybe that was part of it, was it?
I think, yes, it's the real-life fairy tale of that every little girl would love to be a real-life princess, but I think that she found out it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
Now, you've been here before, sort of. You've won Mastermind, though not in that particular chair.
No, I was on Swap Shop. And they had
Well, why are they laughing? That's, you won against your peers.
Yes, well, it was Junior Mastermind. The only connection with the real Mastermind was they used the same chair.
And what was your specialist subject then?
It was the Tower of London.
Ah.
Yes, and I'd been taken there when I was 5 years old, and it had always been a fascinating place for me, so it was the obvious thing to go for.
Well, you have 14 points, so now you have 2 minutes on general knowledge starting now. What was the title of P.C. Wren's first and best-known novel about the French Foreign Legion, first published in 1924?
Beaugest.
Correct. Which future Prime Minister reported on the Boer War for the Morning Post newspaper?
Winston Churchill.
Correct. Bronze is an alloy of copper and which other metal?
Tin.
Correct. How is the garden shrub pyracantha popularly known?
Firethorn.
Correct. Which hormone was first isolated in 1921 by Canadian scientists Frederick Banting and Charles Best?
Pass.
In drafts, what is the maximum number of squares that can be occupied during a game?
32.
No, 24. What in the American West was a prairie schooner?
It was a stagecoach.
It was a horse-drawn covered wagon. Who in the Bible was commanded by God to sacrifice his beloved son Isaac?
Abraham.
Correct. Love Changes Everything, a hit for Michael Ball, is the opening number from which musical?
Aspects of Love.
Correct. Which German battleship was finally destroyed by 3 torpedoes from the cruiser Dorsetshire on May the 27th, 1941?
Graf's Bay.
No, the Bismarck. Which bird, first seen by Portuguese sailors in 1507, had become extinct by 1681?
Dodo.
Correct. The Kingdom of Lesotho is entirely surrounded by which other country?
Tanzania.
No, South Africa. In medicine, antitussive drugs are administered to counteract which symptom?
Bleeding.
Coughing. What is the name of the Marquess of Bath's country seat in Wiltshire, renowned for its safari park?
Longleat.
Correct. In which month is the Feast of Martinmas celebrated?
September.
No, November. My word is my bond is the motto of which British financial organisation?
The London Stock Exchange.
Correct. Retired brewer Richard Cox is remembered for developing a variety of which fruit from about 1825?
Apple.
Correct. Who starred as the English teacher John Keating in the 1989 film Dead Poets Society?
Robin Williams.
Correct. Which writer best known for his horror novels has also written under the name Richard Bachman?
Stephen King.
Correct. There is a museum dedicated to which Spanish painter at Figueras on the Costa Brava, where he was born in 1904?
Dali.
Salvador Dali is correct. And you passed on only one question. The hormone isolated in 1921 by Banting and Best was insulin. But I don't think it mattered, because you now have a total of 27 points. So, at the end of that general knowledge round, let's look at the scores. In 4th place, with 19 points, is Sai Khan. In 3rd place, with 20 points, John Wrigley. In 2nd place, with 23 points, is Eric Kilby. In 1st place, with 27 points, Sally Wilson. So that means that Sally Wilson goes through to the next round. Congratulations to her. Please join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Genius of Invention team help us get in touch with a communication revolution from the telegraph and the wireless age right up to today's innovations at 9. But next on BBC Two, wooden ships, but the iron men and women of British fishing, caught on film in real history.